24 hours at Le Mans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. That's pretty cool. So appreciate that you're a car guy. All right, I got a couple more questions for you here. So, what's the best part of playing for the Giants? And furthermore, what's the best thing about being a part of the Vancouver community?
Well, I grew up here in Metro Vancouver, and my grandparents lived in Vancouver too. So I spent a lot of time there growing up, and
Mhm.
yeah, I watched a lot of Giants games. And I always remember them being a huge part of the community. Like on the back of every bus when you were driving, you always see like buy season tickets or buy tickets to games, stuff like that. So it was always, and then Canucks games are always too expensive, so I always just ended up going to Giants games. So it's always something I wanted to do was to play here for them. And yeah, no, very good community following, very in tune with the community and everything. So
All right. So now we got the harder questions out of the way. I say harder, I put in air quotes. So we get some of the more informal-ish questions out of the way. I'm gonna throw some rapid fire questions your way. These will be kind of fun. But let's start with this one. What's your go-to pregame music?
oh, I oh that's tough because it always changes.
That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah,
What's
because
your
I
who are your favorite artists to listen to
oh
before the game?
well, when I'm driving to Langley from my house, I have my playlist. I have to play certain songs at specific points on the road and everything.
Okay.
So so like when I'm just driving, um, I always listen to like more upbeat songs, and then when I'm about 10 minutes away, I play things like Beastie Boys, like Sabotage, and then I play
Nice.
Kickstart My Heart, and yeah, and I play Painted Black, so like a few Rolling Stones and all that. So it changes, but it's always the same kind of music for each place that I'm at. Even on the road, like I always know how far away we are from the rink, and I'll set my music to be that too. So
Okay. Now, what's your favorite road trip activity? What do you like to do when you're on a road trip? To play video games? Do you read? Do you play guitar? What kind of things do you do on a road trip for off ice activity?
well, when we're on the bus, I just watch movies. So it's always a show. I think my go-to is always Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Always got a good laugh out of that.
Good
Um,
show. Good show.
always watched a lot of Top Gear on the long road trips too. Love that show. Um, no, I think it was stuff that we did for little team buildings. We always played little games. That were always
Okay.
fun. It was always a fun. It was always fun, and because the team would be split in half, so it would get competitive, but it was in a fun way. Guys were always joking around, having a good time. So yeah, I feel like the little games that we always play on the road when we get to the hotel and stuff is always fun.
All right. Now, if you're on a road trip, what's your go-to snack? If you guys are allowed snacks on the bus, now what's your favorite go-to snack?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't eat too many snacks. I always have a lot to drink though.
Okay.
Um,
What's your go-to drink?
ooh, probably like the white Gatorade. Love that
Okay.
flavor. Yeah, I
All right.
always I always have a bottle or two with me on a road trip. One for on the way there and one for the way back. So
Now, I probably know the answer to this. What's your go-to favorite sport to watch outside of hockey?
oh, definitely car racing.
Who's your favorite driver?
Ooh, that's tough because there's a few, but definitely Charles Leclerc, favorite driver by far.
All right. And last question, of my rapid fire questions. What's your favorite school subject?
I would like to say none. Uh,
Recess, lunch, lunch
yeah,
period, study
lunch.
hall.
Favorite times are before school, lunch, and after school. No. Ooh, I don't know because school has been weird for me the last 2.5 years with COVID and everything. But
Yeah.
I definitely have to say socials because I've always had really good socials teachers throughout the year, and they always made it fun and exciting. So I definitely say that class because it was always my teachers always made it fun. So
Now, for our American audience, because What's socials? Is it history? Is it
Oh, it's history, yeah. So we
okay?
call it social studies.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, that's what I figured. I figured I'd get some clarification. That's what I used to
Yeah.
call it too when I was in school.
Yeah, no, we always do social studies, and then once you get into grade 11 and 12, you can break into the different types. So there's 20th century history, and
Okay.
you can look more into other things and past history and recent history and stuff like that. So
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Damian Palmieri, best wishes to you. All the best on this next weekend for the NHL draft. Do appreciate you stopping by.
all right, thank you so much, Ryan.
Knocked down, and back come the Giants. Thorpe. He'll drop it. Palmieri from the slot. He hit his own teammate. Backhand score! Damian Palmieri has his second goal of the season, and it's a big one. Off the rush, the Giants on the board, 3-1 game.
Second player we'll be interviewing today is Wyatt Wilson from the Victoria Royals. Rookie season this past season. He's originally from Swift Current, Saskatchewan, played in 51 games, had 3 goals and 8 assists with 52 penalty minutes. So let's bring on NHL draft hopeful Wyatt Wilson. Wyatt, how are we doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me on, Ryan.
Oh, thanks for joining me. I appreciate you jumping on. So let's start with your hockey origins. What made you want to play what made you want to play defenseman, and who are the defensemen you looked up to when you were growing up?
Yeah, I started obviously at a pretty young age. I started skating 3 or 4 years old, and some guys I really looked up to were Duncan Keith. When I was younger, I was a huge Chicago Blackhawks fan, so I watched him a ton, and then from there, I just kind of blossomed into the defenseman I am today. So,
all right, now how would your teammates describe you as someone both on and off the ice? How would they describe you as a player on the ice and a person off the ice?
Yeah, I think on the ice they describe me as a big physical two-way defenseman that likes to throw the body around. I have pretty good hands, I think, for the size that I am. I move the puck really well, and I use my skating as a huge advantage, to jump up in the rush and create offensive opportunities. And sorry, Ryan. And then
that's okay.
Off the ice, just probably describe me as a glue guy in the dressing room. I like to have fun with the guys and keep the guys loose, but dial it in when the time comes. So.
All right. Now, this year you are a rookie in the WHL with the Victoria Royals. How was it difficult to adjust moving up a level, and especially with all the stuff happening with COVID and all the past couple of years? And what kind of a role did your coaches have in that adjustment from AAA to senior level, junior level, big time CHL hockey?
Yeah. The jump wasn't too bad. The one thing I noticed is guys make decisions at much faster paces. But I'm a pretty big frame, so I adjusted pretty well. It's a physical league, so that suits me pretty well. But yeah, I played more of a shutdown role. But hopefully this next season, move into more of a offensive. Hopefully play a little bit of power play, two-way guy.
All right, my last informal-ish question. What's the best part of playing for the Royals, being part of the team? And furthermore, what's the best thing about being a part of the community in Victoria, British Columbia?
Yeah. Obviously the team and organization is first class. I don't think there's another team as detailed as these guys. And my favorite part probably is being able to play with my brother. My younger brother plays with me out in Victoria there. So
gotcha.
We have lots of fun out there, but just the community in Victoria is unreal. They're always super, super supportive, and we thank them a ton for that. It means a lot.
All right, so we're gonna move into the fun part of this interview, which do some rapid fire questions, very informal, just rapid fire stuff, just for fun. It's a podcast. Let's have some fun, So here's my first rapid fire question. What's your go-to in terms of pre-game music? Who are the artists you're listening to? What are the songs you're listening to? Do you have a particular playlist or an order you go in?
Not a specific order. I don't know. I like to listen to there's mashups on SoundClouds that the guys usually put on before games, but On a practice day, I'm a big country guy. So
Okay.
I like Zach Bryan and Shania Twain. There's some old country in there. Yeah, pretty much anything country I enjoy on practice days. But game days, you got to get into something a little more upbeat. So any mixes or rap even. So
there you go. All right. Now, what's your go-to in terms of a road trip activity? Do you like to play video games? Do you like to watch movies? Do you like to read books, play guitar, play or an instrument? And what do you like to do during it just to kind of kill the time on a road trip?
The guys usually play poker on the bus.
Okay.
Are
you a decent poker player? Or are you still
I wasn't down in money this year. I won quite a bit, so the guys don't like me for that. I win a lot. So,
all right. So next question: What's your go-to road trip snack or drink? Like if you're on a road trip, you have a snack or you have a drink. Do you have a go-to for those kind of things?
Not over. I mean, Gatorade. I mean, the guys love Gatorade, obviously Blue Gatos, but snacks. I actually like Goldfish and strawberries too. I love strawberries. Larock, my D partner, Gannon Larock, he always has a big thing of strawberries. So I usually go and buddy up with him and bum off him a little bit, I guess. But
fun fact, I got to interview him last year. So Good guy. Yeah. I like him. I liked him a lot. I was really happy when he got drafted. I'm hoping the same for you this next weekend.
Yeah.
All right. So my second to last question: What's your go-to sport to watch outside of hockey? Do you like football? Do you like basketball? Are you a big, auto racing guy? What kind of sports do you enjoy watching outside of hockey?
Honestly, there's not one I can say. I don't watch a ton of sports other than hockey. I mean, obviously the playoffs just finished up here, but that's about it. Honestly, probably hockey. That's all I really do or even think about. So,
as a former rugby player, I encourage you to watch rugby. Just saying.
Try that. Give it a shot.
All right. And my last question: What's your favorite school subject?
Science, probably.
Science.
I love science. Yeah. Chemistry was, a lot of guys hated chemistry, but I just kind of had a knack for it and I enjoyed doing it. So,
well, you got to have chemistry if you want to play hockey. I mean,
yeah.
All right. Wyatt Wilson and the Victoria Rose, I do appreciate your time here. No credentials required. All the best to you in next week's draft.
Yeah. Thanks again, Ryan.
Puck down in the Royal zone. Giants with the 2-goal lead. Now we're going to have another scrap. And this is going to be Wyatt Wilson. He's going up against Lankow. And they may finally meet here at center. Wilson tries to throw one. They back up. Lankow over the top. Missed. Now Wilson comes back with a couple rights on Lankow, who comes back with one of his own. Uppercut Wilson over the top with another jab. Wilson hanging on here. They're just hanging on to each other, spinning each other around. Wilson gets loose for one more. And Lankow comes back with the right. And body shots now by Wyatt Wilson. Wilson's got his arm cocked, ready to go here as they're spinning each other around, probably getting dizzy. Lankow gets a right in on the cheek. Wilson counters with one to the side. And the two break up. Oh, what a tilt. Wyatt Wilson and Colton Lankow.
And our next interview on this draft special is Charlie Wright of the who's a defenseman for the Saskatoon Blades. This year he scored 1 goal and 18 assists in 58 games played, including 8 assists on the power play. He also led the Blades with a +6 rating for plus minus. So I'll go ahead and bring him on in. Charlie, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
I appreciate you joining me. So what made you, as a hockey player, as your hockey player growing up, what made you want to be a defenseman, and who are some of your favorite NHL defensemen growing up?
I think it was just kind of something I grew into. My strengths kind of just led me into being a defenseman growing up. And I tried a few years of forwards, but I always ended up coming back to playing D. And some of my favorite players growing up would definitely be Mark Giordano. He was definitely a guy that I watched a ton of, being a Flames fan growing up. So he's definitely one of my favorites. And today, I mean, you can't help but love watching Cale Makar. I mean, he's spectacular and just won the cup. So congratulations to them. And yeah, he's incredible.
See, as a with Mark Giorgeno, I appreciate his hairstyle, you know. So we have both the same hairstyle. But all jokes aside, how would your teammates describe you as a hockey player on the ice and just a regular, just Charlie Wright off the ice?
On the ice, I'd like to say they think I'm a great skating defenseman, trustworthy, liable. I'm a guy they can put on the ice for any situation and put their trust into. And off the ice, I'd like to think they would say the exact same thing, is that I'm a trustworthy guy, I'm a good guy, and I bring a good energy into the room and a good leader.
Now, on your player profile, you listed a wealth of accolades, but there's one that really stuck in my mind, which is that you joined Hockey Gives Blood. What was the biggest reason for joining and being an advocate for this particular cause?
So Stu Middleton with Hockey Gives Blood reached out to me, and I didn't really know much about it, and he kind of explained some of the stats and the heavy need for blood donors in Canada and really everywhere. And I thought, well, I'm so fortunate to have been gifted and be so healthy. So to give back to those who aren't as fortunate and maybe just need some help. And I thought it would be a great way to give back to those in need.
All right. Now, what is the best part of playing for the Blades? And furthermore, what's the best part of being a member of the Saskatoon-Saskatchewan community?
Saskatchewan's awesome. I mean, they're obviously big into hockey. Saskatoon's a big hockey city, and they support the Blades a ton. They have great fans, and playing for the Blades have been absolutely amazing. Ever since I got drafted there, I've been I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's been absolutely fantastic. They treat me great. So just the fans and the group that the Blades have is fantastic.
All right. So now that we got the informalities out of the way, I'm going to do some rapid fire questions, and you just kind of fun questions to just kind of chop things up a little bit, keep the format informal. So let's start off with the first question. What's your pregame music? What's your go-to pregame music? What do you typically listen to in terms of genres, in terms of artists? Who's your go-to in terms of for pregame music?
I got a bit of a mix going. I like rap. That's usually my go-to to get fired up. Some rock and roll. I always love some of that. And then even just throwing on a mix or whatever and let it play some of your favorite songs that you like.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Probably Kid Laroi. He's my favorite right now. It changes, but he's my favorite right now.
Okay. And who's your favorite rock band?
Before games, probably Nickelback.
Strong answer for a strong Canadian answer. I got you there.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong there.
Even though I live in the United States myself, that's a strong answer. Strong answer. Now, what's your favorite road trip activity? Just to kind of kill the time. Is it movies? Is it games? Is it you play an instrument? Or what kind of things do you do on a road trip just to kind of kill the time as an activity?
My favorite would just, if we can get enough guys, I love to play some card games. President's one of my favorites, and if the guys are sleeping or on their phones watching movies too, that's usually what I'm up to as well. Just find a movie to watch.
What's been the best movie you've seen on a road trip so far?
Oh, that's a good question. I watched when Free Guy came out. I remember watching that on the bus, and that was a really good one. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, solid pick. Solid pick. Now, do you have a go-to? Now, some of the other answers have been kind of varied, but do you have a go-to snack while you're on the road? Is for a road trip? Do you have a drink, a beverage that you sip on while you're on the road trip? What's your favorite one?
I try and keep it to water. or Gatorade. Those are usually supplied. Sometimes I like to grab those kind of, what are they called? The ice bubbly waters, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty good too.
Okay. Now, outside of hockey, what's your favorite sport to watch? Are you a football fan? Are you a baseball fan? Or do you have another sport that you enjoy that outside of hockey that you like to watch?
Probably football. I don't keep in touch too much, but it is definitely a sport I enjoy watching. I mean, the athleticism that some of those guys have is impressive.
Now, are you a CFL guy or an NFL guy, or are you a little bit of both?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
For sure. If my dad's watching, my dad puts it on and I'll watch with him. So that's usually whatever he puts on.
Okay. Do you play fantasy football at all?
No, I haven't actually. I'm too scared.
That might be another road trip activity you can get yourself into.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I wouldn't do very good. I'd probably just go with the auto draft.
Sometimes it's the best way to go. And my last rapid fire question: what's your favorite school subject?
Math for sure. Probably because I'm good at it. It's just one of my strengths. But yeah, definitely math.
All right, Charlie Wright, appreciate your time. All the best to you next week in the NHL draft, and thanks for being a part. No commercials required.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Charlie Wright tried to go cross ice for Krinkovic. That was blocked by a skate. Wright tries a shot, bouncing puck. It's into the net. They score! Hey! Oh, let's go! It didn't take long. 43 seconds. Better get the puck. They've got it. It's Charlie Wright's goal. It's his first in the Western Hockey League. And you'll get to go through the fist bump line first as the 17-year-old from Olds, Alberta. That deflected off of a couple of Broncos on the way to the net. Two different sticks changing direction on Reed Dick. No blade ever touched it. And it is Charlie Wright ending a 58-game goalless drought. This is game 59 for him in the Western Hockey League. And he finally has that initial opening goal as a member of the Saskatoon Blades. And
next up in our NHL draft special, we have Chase Coward from the Red Deer Rebels. He's a goaltender. Yeah, this season he posted a 2.51 goals against average and a 906 save percentage with 2 shutouts and with 22 wins. And in the playoffs, he posted a 2.24 GAA goals against average with a 925 save percentage and 1 shutout during the playoffs. So we'll bring him in. He's another one of our draft hopefuls. That would be Chase Coward. Chase, how are we doing today?
Good, you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being on No Credentials Required. So, growing up, what made you want to be a goaltender, and who were your favorite goaltenders growing up?
I can't tell you why I became a goaltender. It was just kind of one of those things where I always levitated towards the net, and then I don't know, I just was kind of good at it, so I stayed in that. And then probably growing up, we used to bill at like Broncos, like Swift Current Broncos. So I kind of looked up Landon Bull quite a bit because we had him when I was younger, and he was a mentor to me.
All right. Now, how would your teammates describe you as a player on the ice and a person off the ice? Like, what would they say about you as a teammate? As a goaltender and as someone just off the ice, just as Chase Coward?
Yeah. On the ice, I feel like they'd say like I'm calm, collected, like try and give the team the best ability to win, keep everyone composed, and like not get too high with emotions with the highs and lows of games, kind of that steady back end. And then off the ice, just a very easygoing guy, get along with easy, hardworking, trustworthy, responsible, wants the best out of everyone in his teammates.
All right. Now, in your player profile, you note that you go by a mindset with the letters BAO. What does BAO stand for, and how does that apply to the mindset of your game?
So BAO is being Ollie. It's one of my friend's cats, and if you ever seen it, it is completely clueless all the time. Like it just looks off. And I have that on like the inside of my gloves because whenever I like start overthinking or start worrying or stressing about like the game or anything, I just look at that. And it's a reminder to just like reset, refocus, and just kind of let my body do what I've trained it to do and just not overthink anything and just kind of essentially go clueless in net and just let my instincts take over.
It kind of sounds like I don't know if you ever heard of Bruce Lee's "Be like water." Be like water, because water can absolutely destroy a rock, but could also just kind of flow.
Yeah.
So sounds a lot like that. So that's pretty cool. Now, what's the best part of playing for the Red Deer Rebels, and also what is the best part of being a member, so to speak, of the Red Deer Alberta community?
The community is great. Like we got a good turnout towards the end of the year, like for playoffs and everything. Kind of it felt good that we had the community support and being kind of a mentor towards Red Deer minor hockey and like the younger kids in Red Deer. And then just being a Rebel, it's great. Like guys are great, staff is amazing. And just like we have some high-end staff that have coached and played at very high levels and that like you can learn a lot from.
All right, no. So we're gonna get some We're gonna get to some. All right, I know you face some shots, quick shots when you're on the ice as a goaltender. I'm gonna do some quick fire questions. These are just for fun, just to not related to the game, but just kind of for fun. So, what is your go-to in terms of pre-game music? Typically what genre do you listen to? Do you have a particular artist? Do you have a playlist? Do you have an order? Like, what kind of music do you listen to?
It's definitely a lot of rap, like hip hop and rap before the games. A lot of that.
Okay.
And then I mix in some rock depending on the day and what the mood is.
Okay. Now, who's your favorite rapper currently?
Currently, I like a lot of Drake, kind of. Okay. Drake and 21.
Okay. All right. Now, on the road, I know road trips can be pretty long in the WHL. What's your favorite road trip activity? Like, what do you like to do to kind of pass the time between these very long road trips, or when you're off the ice, when you're at a hotel or somewhere else, or if you're a hotel or a different city? What do you like to do to kind of pass the time? Do you play video games? Do you watch movies, read books, play an instrument? Like, what kind of activities do you do?
It's a mix of everything. Like if we're on the bus and it's kind of more of like a day trip, it's like movies and stuff. But like if it's a night trip, I'll try and sleep, and then like in hotels, I'll read a book sometimes, and that's kind of the routine. Or I'll watch movies in the hotel too, depending on what our schedule's like and everything.
Okay. What's the last good book that you read that you recommend to people, to the audience out there?
It was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Okay. Yep, I've heard of that book. Okay. All right. It's an interesting read for a young guy. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, on the road, same thing question when you're on the road, do you have a particular food or snack or beverage that you like to enjoy that before during a road trip?
Not really. I don't really have a specific snack that I like to bring. We get a lot of food for us, so the odd time I'll pack some like muffins and like some peanut butter and jam sandwiches, and I don't know, those are probably my favorite road snacks. But
okay, all right. Now, outside of hockey, what is your go-to sport to watch? Are you a football fan? Are you a baseball fan? What do you enjoy watching other sports outside of hockey while you're not playing hockey? Do you like any other sports?
I like watching baseball. Like I played baseball growing up and everything, and then I also enjoy watching volleyball.
Volleyball, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Now, who's your? I know probably what the answer is, but I'll ask anyway. What's your favorite baseball team?
Blue Jays.
Of course.
Well, you gotta cheer for the Canadians.
Not that's a bad thing. I kind of expected it. I had to ask. People's got different answer, but I figured, all right, might as well ask.
That's the Blue Jays.
All right. Now, my last question: what's your favorite school subject?
Well, I mean, if we're excluding when I went to an academy and we got hockey as a school subject, I'd probably go with. I was kind of like a big science math guy.
Okay. What particular branch of science fascinated you the most?
Chemistry and physics, probably.
Oh, okay. Because physics are a big part of hockey, and so is chemistry. You got to have good chemistry to win. So, all right, Chase Coward, I appreciate you stopping by. No credentials required. Best of luck to you next week in the draft, and all the best to you.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
King's pass intercepted by Iorio. Cuts into the Red Deer zone. Into the slot. Shot saved by Chase Coward. Are you kidding me? What a save by Chase Coward as the Wheat Kings jump on the Rebels turnover. It looked like Danielson had the wide open net. And now chaos deep in Red Deer territory as 6 players and 2 officials on the ice. Holy Toledo, what a sequence.
What a save by Chase Coward. Ben King turned it over in the neutral zone, and Iorio came down with Danielson 2-on-2, beat his defender, slid it over to Nate, who had, pretty much an open net. The only thing that Coward had was his goal stick to reach back, and he stopped it. And that's 2 empty nets Brandon's missed in the last 2 minutes.
And this scrum continues well after the whistle as a Wheat Kings player has lost his helmet, as it looks like Arshdeep Baines, of all people, gets a late shot in on Danielson. Baines is going to get called for that.
And the final interview of our NHL draft preview, we're going to bring in from the Victoria Royals. We're going to bring in Tyler Palmer. He was the recipient of the team's Rookie of the Year award. He was a 9-time Game Star in the WHL this year, 4-time First Star. And that includes the First Star after a franchise record 50 save shutout on December 29th, 2021 against the Vancouver Giants. So we're going to bring him in. This is Tyler Palmer. Tyler, how are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. I just want to wish you, first of all, a happy Canada Day. I understand that's Canada Day up in the Great White North today.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to talk about some of the things from some of the just some questions from based on your profile. So what made you want to be a goaltender, and who are some of your favorite goaltenders growing up?
Yeah, funny question. What made me actually want to be a goalie is playing minor hockey. I kind of hated getting scored on. I love scoring goals, but I hated getting scored on even more. So if you put me on forward, I'd go back play defense. If you put me on defense, I'd basically play goalie anyway. So I ended up playing goalie that way.
And who were some of your favorite goaltenders growing up?
Marc-Andre Fleury was a big one growing up. I just loved his battle athleticism and his compete. And I loved Carey Price just for almost a complete opposite reason, just because of how calm and composed that he always was and structured. And then also more recently, UC Saros, I've actually really enjoyed watching because he's kind of got a nice mix of the two, kind of I think a relatively similar style of game that I like to play.
Okay. So speaking of your teammates, how would your teammates describe you on the ice as a player and off the ice as just Tyler Palmer, just regular Tyler Palmer?
So on the ice, I would say consistency is a big thing for me. I would like to think that I come out like the same every game. So I think it's kind of it's nice for my team to know what to expect out of me every game. I'm competitive, so I always want to win. I really prepare mentally, actually, is a big thing for me. I think my mental game is definitely coming along pretty well. And also just speed and agility and athleticism. Just I'm competitive, so I don't like to give up on any pucks. I try to make as many saves as absolutely possible. So that's me on the ice. And off the ice, to be completely honest, I'm a little bit quieter in the dressing room, but that doesn't mean that, like, I don't know, I think the guys still like me. I would hope so. Anyway, no, I think I'm just like a quieter, more humble guy, I would say. Just kind of, I wouldn't say that I'm not a leader. I wouldn't say that. I kind of just lead in a different way. I kind of show by example, just kind of do all the right things, do all the small details. That's kind of who I'd say I am off the ice.
All right. Now, in your profile, you note that you're eager to learn new things and practice to perfection. To whom do you attribute this eagerness to learn? Just in terms of like not just like learning new things in terms of something new and yeah, when you're goaltending, like your goaltender coach teaches you something, or off the ice you learn a new hobby, play guitar, play an instrument, or just want to learn something new. Like what do you attribute to that drive of the eagerness to learn?
I don't exactly know what it is. I think it's maybe that it's kind of like that competitive nature along with like a curiousness and just I kind of want to get better at things all the time. I want to be better. I would say. So I mean that pretty much goes with everything. Whether that's on the ice for hockey or just golfing. I've been really trying to improve on golfing too for whatever reason. It doesn't really matter, but I try anyway. And again, you said instrument. I learned guitar just on my own, and watching YouTube videos, all that type of stuff. And I've been playing for probably like a year and a half now, maybe just over that. And I've learned a ton of songs now. So I feel quite comfortable playing the guitar now. So I think, yeah, I don't know. There's just a willingness to like be curious and just learn things, I think.
Okay. Now, what's your favorite song to play?
There's a lot of good ones, to be honest. I can play
please don't say Stairway to Heaven.
No, not that. I like to play like on the electric guitar, like Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh, nice.
And on the acoustic, I actually like to play like Everlong by the Foo Fighters. That's
nice. Very nice. Good songs. Yeah. Good songs.
Yeah.
Now, what's the best part of playing for the Royals, and furthermore, being a part of the Victoria, British Columbia community? What's the best part of those things?
To be honest, in the Victoria community, the city is awesome. The weather is, when it's not raining, the weather is really great. It does rain a lot there, but it's very, very mild there, especially for Canada. It's like the mildest climate in Canada. So yeah, definitely the weather there is pretty sweet. We only get snow like maybe a couple weeks out of the year, so you can go out and do things and not have to be completely bundled up in huge coats, and you'll be fine. So that's nice. And yeah, just the people in Victoria. I mean, all over Canada, really. Canadian people are just really nice. So in Victoria, it's no different. People there are great. We always get great crowds there. Yeah.
All right. Now we're gonna do some rapid fire questions. These are just very fun. These are fun questions. So I figured 5 quick fire questions at the end, just to kind of get to know you as a person outside the rink. So first question, your rapid fire. What's your go-to pregame music? Do you have a specific genre? Do you have a specific band you listen to? Do you have a playlist on the way to the arena? What's your pregame music typically?
I would say just anything that you would classify as like a pump up song, I guess you could say. So that could be anywhere from like a hip hop, rap, or like a classic rock type of music, any of that type of stuff. I mean, anything that really, gets me motivated. That type of music. So yeah, there's not like a specific genre, I guess you'd say, but yeah.
Okay, so your taste is eclectic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like that. I'm the same way. I've got everything on my Spotify. On my Spotify liked songs list, it's anything from classical to classic rock to heavy metal to rap, whatever you got. So
yeah.
All right. So next question. What's your go-to road trip activity? So if you're on a long road trip, what are you typically doing during those road trips? Are you sleeping? Are you reading a book? Are you playing guitar? What's your road trip activity look like?
Usually, actually, my team is we like to play poker on the bus. So that's that's a thing that we like to do on the bus.
Yeah.
We'll set up like a little table. We'll play some poker in the aisle there.
Yeah, your teammate Wyatt Wilson was saying the same thing. He said guys like to play a little bit of poker. Is that was it River? Is it Texas Hold'em? Is it your typical? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, do you have, I don't know, some guys, some players answer this question, some players didn't really have a preference, but do you have a go-to road snack? Are you munching on a piece of fruit? Is it trail mix? Is it just a bottle of water, Gatorade? What's your go-to? What's your road trip snack?
Generally, I will bring like some granola bars or some trail mix, or like a snack. And then other than that, basically just like the team gets us meals every 4 hours or 5 hours or so. Probably 4 hours. So just like small snacks like granola bars and stuff like that in between usually.
Okay. Now what was your favorite school subject when you were going to school? What was your favorite subject?
I mean, if you don't include gym, which is not really a subject, it would probably I really liked physics.
Okay.
Kind of physics. Yeah. So I know it's kind of a weird one, but yeah, physics was I don't know, something I really understood for some reason. I don't know why, but I did well in it and I found it. Yeah.
Okay. Now my last question is what's your go-to sport to watch outside of hockey? Or is it just hockey all the time, 24/7?
I'm a pretty big Jays fan, so I like to watch baseball outside of hockey. So now that hockey's over, the playoffs are done. I'm definitely going to be watching the Jays all the time.
All right, Tyler Palmer of the Victoria Royals. Thanks so much. The best to you and next week's draft.
Thank you.
Inside the Rocket zone by Dory, and now Poole. Startup could be a 2-on-1 now to Lewiski. He's going to be in alone. Back across. What a save by Tyler Palmer. The save of the game. It remains 2-2. Absolute leather larceny there as he goes right to left to make this save off of Poole, who took the feed in tight from Lewiski. What fantastic net minding by Tyler Palmer. Got his glove on that.